Hi, I'm Daphne and welcome back to daph'scaf vlogs. In this week's vlog, we're going to try and make your life a lot easier. How do you say? Well, obviously it's not by giving you all £100,000, I wish I could, but this week we are going to combine two different types of food preferences in one. How do you do that? Not with great difficulty, just with a lot of preparation, that's all. Yes, this week we are going to be doing salmon patties, and alongside that we're going to be doing tofu patties. So when you're cooking your meal, you can also prepare the vegan meal at the same time. Don't worry, it's easy peasy lemon squeezy. If you would like the recipe, it's listed in the description box below, as well as a link to my Pinterest boards. Now, the recipe that I'm going to be using for the salmon patties is the classic Women's Weekly magazine recipe. Yes, an old, true and tried favorite. Well, if you're ready, grab yourself some spuds, aka potatoes, aka carbs we love to love. Got your peeler? Got your spud? Let's go. Right, I have probably peeled about 1 kilo of these bad boys, pop them into some salted boiling water. Then it's time for us to chop up the onions. Did you know that the volatile chemical in the onion, known as the lacrimatory factor, is what makes us tear up? Yes, it does that by, covering the surface of our eyes to form into some kind of acid. That's why we're sitting there crying instead of going on a trip. Oh, did I say that? No, I didn't. Anyway, grab some olive oil, pop it into a frying pan, and then it's time for us to saute up our onions. Once the onions have somewhat caramelized or browned slightly, add a little bit of salt and pepper, and then we're ready for the next step, which is to let them cool down so that we can add them to the rest of the ingredients later on. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. Drum roll, please. It's the star of the vegan show, tofu. You can get tofu from any supermarket. It's not that difficult to get. So, well, you can tell from me squeezing up the packet that it's firm tofu. Use the larger side of your grater and grate that tofu down all the way down to the end. Yes, even the small tiny bits. Quick note, you can also saute your tofu very quickly if you prefer a slightly softer feel to the patty. It's time for us to go and get some aromatics. Follow me. Here's me wee little garden in my backyard, and look at that hanging basket. It's got some fresh parsley in it. So let's grab some, pop it on the board, and give it a quick little chop up. Split what you have. One side goes towards the tofu and the other side you can add towards your salmon. Once that's done, grab yourself a lemon and grate it on the thinner side of the grate. I'm using the entire lemon because, as you know, I'm splitting it between the tofu patties and the salmon patties. So this one goes in with the tofu and the balance goes towards the salmon. Once that's done, split the lemon in half. We're going to be using it. Nothing is wasted. Yeah, boys, let's get this party started. Okay, so this is the salmon that's mixed with the parsley and the lemon rind, and this is the tofu, as you can see, that's also mixed with the parsley and the lemon rind. What we're going to do now is we are going to grab those spuds, aka potatoes, aka the carbs we love to love. Yes, we love potatoes, and mash them up. You don't have to mash them up so fine. A bit of a rough mash is good enough because you want those little tiny bits when you're making your patty, like this. Okay, then you split the mash between both the dishes. Now, a quick thing about salmon, you can actually buy fresh salmon, which can be cooked and flaked and deboned and added to the dish. But then again, do you want to go through all that trouble? Yes, of course, it's all about taste. Okay, so we split the potato between the two, and now it's time for us to add the onion. It's not making us cry anymore, is it? No! But this might, so just make sure you lower your arms. See, bit of squirt. as you're doing the lemon. I like my lemon in a bit of gin and some tonic occasionally. Okay, so now we have to give it a bit of a mix up, and what you want to do is mix it really good and proper until it starts to look a little bit like dough. Once it does, grab yourself a good handful, and it's time for us to shape it into patties. First, roll it into a ball. Roll your boat. No, I mean roll the ball. Flatten it all the way down. Pat, 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 pat. That's right. And then you have a patty. Shall we do this again? Repeat. Grab yourself some mixture. Firmly pack it in. Roll your ball. Gosh, I do this so well. Then pat, 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 pat. Pat, 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 pat. And shape it into a nice little patty. Et voila, the finished product. Now, depending on how big your patties are, you probably will get about 5. Time to put the cling film on it. I don't know how some people do it. I'm so cack at getting it in the straight line. Once you've covered it, then pop it straight into the fridge. Right, by the magic of video, everything is done, prepared, and in the fridge chilling. I'm pointing to the right because that's where my fridge should be. I think it is, yes. And now it's time for us to grab the 3 Musketeers. Not the chocolate, and not the characters from the book. Do you remember their names? Aramis, I do remember that one because it was quite a famous perfume in the day, or men's cologne. What? I don't know. Did I say that? I can't remember. Athos and D'Artagnan. How many times did they remake that movie? Never mind. Anyway, our 3 Musketeers are breadcrumbs, flour, and I don't have a third hand, but it should be one of the nut milks. Why is it you always see me struggling with a pepper grinder? Anyway, so you've got your flour in one bowl, you've got your breadcrumbs in another, and in the middle you usually have eggs if you're non-vegan. Otherwise it's a nut milk and we're using almond milk. Grab the patties out of the fridge, and it's time for us to begin the 3-stage concept. First, you dust the patty with the flour that has a little bit of salt and pepper on it. Then you dunk it in the milk, or the almond milk, or the egg if it's the salmon patties. Then you cover it with breadcrumbs. Make sure you press down firmly so you've got all the breadcrumbs nicely covering that patty. Oh, it's looking good, darlings, it's looking good. Right, repeat until all 5 patties are done. Then grab yourself some oil, put it into a frying pan, wait until it starts to bubble. This is once you've turned it on, of course, and then add your patties gently to the oil. Otherwise, the oil is going to splash everywhere and make your daughter who's filming it scream. I think I can only manage to get about 4 into this frying pan. You can always add Mr. Lonely in the next batch. Okay, I think after about 3 minutes you can flip it over. Yes, I am pretty cack at the flippery bit, so I have to use 2 utensils. That's just me. You should see me trying to flip an omelette. Okay, once these beautiful creatures have turned a gorgeous golden brown, then put them on some draining paper so that it absorbs whatever oils you do not want in that patty. And that's what it looks like. I don't know if you can hear this. It's a bit of a crunch. Pretend you can hear the crunch. And stop giggling at my terrible plating skills. Right, I should look fierce, shouldn't I? Finish cooking the dish, we're all nice and happy. It's that moment you've been waiting for. It's time to do the taste test. Where's my guinea pig? My vegan daughter. Let's get her and see what she thinks of the vegan patties. And here you have the vegan, very carefully placing the tofu patty on a fork, goes into her mouth and...
So good.
There you have it. I think we passed the test from the vegan taste buds, don't you think? Oh,
proud.
Making it. I always have a good laugh at myself because, as they say, if you can't laugh at yourself, who are you going to laugh at? Well, that's it for me on daph'scaf's vlogs. I do hope you enjoyed the video as much as I did making it. Please hit the subscribe and like button below. I'd truly appreciate it if you did. And in the meantime, take care of yourselves and be kind to you as well as those around you. Ciao.